Slide 01, Cover. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. I am pleased to present Academic Paper Dojo, a next-generation platform for writing without giving up. By building a thinking blueprint based on the C4 model, we propose a new approach called Wellbeing writing that transforms personal questions into globally published knowledge. Slide 02, Shake, Table of Contents. Here is today's agenda. We begin with what Academic Paper Dojo is and its system overview. We then walk through the current research paper, followed by each stage of the 7-step process, from input and design through writing, evaluation, and presentation. We will also cover the C4 diagram collection, paper output preview, the overall flow, the well-being writing proposal, a comprehensive discussion, and finally the implementation schedule and copyright information. Slide 0301. What is Academic Paper Thesis Dojo? So what is Academic Paper Thesis Dojo? The core idea is this: from a personal question to globally published knowledge. The platform offers 3 key features. First, a thinking blueprint, using the 4 C4 model layers to visualize the paper's logical structure. Second, a system that prevents giving up by reducing extraneous cognitive load to achieve a well-being state. And third, 7 stages of AI support, a systematic paper completion flow from stage 0 to stage 7. Target users include undergraduate and graduate students, faculty supervisors, business professionals, and researchers. Slide 04, our 02 current research paper, Circuitry. This is the current research paper we are using as a demonstration. The title is Writing Without Giving Up, a C4 model, Thinking Blueprint for Wellbeing Writing. The author is Osamu Okumura, principal of the C4 Model Study Group, C4 Model Organization. The submission venue is researchgate.net as a preprint with an empirical experiment planned via collaboration with a supervisor. Key keywords include C4 model, well-being writing, educational technology, decision support, and academic paper dojo. Slide 05, 03, stage 0, paper information input. The writing journey begins at stage 0, paper information input. Section 1 covers author information, name, affiliation, email, and degree. Section 2 captures basic paper information, title, venue, format, and keywords. Section 3 clarifies the research question, abstract, and hypothesis. Section 4 defines the chapter structure, target word count, and language. Section 5 covers prior research and references. 7 or more citations earn a high score. The C4 score. Preview on the right shows all 5 dimensions scoring 5 out of 5, giving a total of 32 out of 35. Passed. The Analysis Start button is now activated. Slide 6, 04 Stage 1, Ideation and RQ Generation, Create Prompt. Stage 1 is Ideation and Research. Question generation using the Create Prompt. C stands for Context, Writing Anxiety in Higher Education and Ownership Loss in the Generative AI Era. R stands for Role, C4, Model Designer and Educational Technology Researcher. E stands for Explore, Why do writers give up? The answer, extraneous cognitive load plus lack of self-efficacy. A stands for Assert, C4. Visualization reduces extraneous load and creates a well-being state. T stands for Test, a quasi-experiment with N equals 30, measuring WHO5, GSE, and C4 score across 4 axes. And the final E stands for Evaluate, quantitative evaluation via C4 score 35 points, WHO5 GSE, and paper completion rate. Slide 7, 04. Stage 2, C4, Model Structuring, Thinking Blueprint. This is Stage 2, C4 Model Structuring, the Thinking Blueprint. The paper is decomposed into 4 layers. L1 is context, background and setting, covering social issues, prior research, and external actors. L2 is container, chapter structure and framework, the logical vessels from introduction through theory, implementation, discussion, and conclusion. L3 is component, arguments and data, claims, evidence, data, and citations per chapter. And L4 is code, sentences and connectives, sentence endings, and citation numbering. At any moment, you know exactly which layer you are working on. Slide 08. 05, Stage 3, 7R, Prompt Writing Support. Stage 3 is the 7R Prompt Writing Support System. Reframe. Shift your perspective from writing to designing. Relate. Establish theoretical linkage with Sweller, Brown, and Seligman. Reason. Build 3-layer justification, theoretical, practical, and analogical. Reveal. Articulate your originality as C 4 times educational technology. Refine. Verify structural isomorphism with quality engineering. Respond. Provide preemptive answers to anticipated reviewer questions. And recap. Compress each chapter's argument into a single sentence. Together, these 7 lenses build deeply persuasive academic writing. Slide 09, 05, Stage 4, C4 tiered evaluation, 35 points max. Stage 4 is the C4 tiered evaluation, scored out of 35 points. L1 context, clarity scores 5 out of 5, appropriate connection to prior research. L2, container logic scores 7 out of 7, a 6-chapter structure with no excess or deficiency. L3, component, completeness scores 7 out of 8. The preliminary study N equals 8 has low statistical power. L4, code logical development scores 4 out of 5. The argument with quality engineering remains metaphorical analogy. RQ to hypothesis to conclusion, consistency scores 5 out of 5. The entire paper is unified on the C 4 times Wellbeing axis. References and prior research scores 4 out of 5. Recommend adding 2 to 3 empirical papers in educational technology. Total score 32 out of 35. Passed. Presentation and submission level reached. Slide 10-06, Stage 5 to 7. Presentation prep / Q&A / submission. Stages 5 through 7 cover the full output pipeline. Stage 5 is conference presentation preparation. The system auto-generates a slide outline for a 10-minute presentation, proposes optimal time allocation and content distribution, and auto-generates a presentation script skeleton. Stage 6 is anticipated question training. An AI reviewer simulation poses 3 rigorous questions across methodological validity, empirical validity, and novelty. You input your answers to build presentation confidence. Stage 7 is submission and peer review response. The system auto-generates a cover letter for ResearchGate, provides a pre-submission checklist of 7 items, and auto-generates a reviewer comment response script. Slide 11, Jiushao 07, C4 diagram collection. 1L1. Context diagram. Now let us look at the C4 diagram collection. The first diagram is the L1 context diagram. On the left, you see the plant UML code that generates this diagram. The center shows the rendered context diagram for academic paper Dojo, mapping the novice writer, faculty supervisor, conference reviewer, Claude API, plant UML server, and ResearchGate.net, and their relationships to the core system. The 6 explanation points on the right cover how to define person nodes, system boundaries, external dependencies, relationship arrows, code compression, and PNG rendering via plantuml.com. Slide 12, Year 07C4 diagram collection 2, L2, container diagram. The second diagram is the L2 container diagram. The plant UML code on the left defines the full internal structure of academic paper Dojo across all 7 stages. The rendered diagram in the center shows the data flow from Stage 0 input through Stage 7 submission with connections to the Claude API and Plant UML server. The 5 key concepts on the right are system boundary, container, functional containers, design decomposition, upstream to downstream flow, quality engineering, quality built in at the upstream stage, and arrow direction, data flow explicitly shown. Slide 1307, C4 diagram collection, 3L, 3-component. Diagram. The third diagram is the L3 component diagram, the pipeline view. The code on the left defines the internal architecture of the Stage 2 C4 structuring engine. The rendered pipeline in the center shows the sequence, RQ analysis, context generation, container generation, component generation, code consistency check, plant UML generation, and finally scoring. The 5 explanation points cover Slide 14, 07C 4 diagram, Collection 4 L4 code, concept diagram. The fourth and most granular diagram is the L4 code concept diagram. The plant UML code on the left implements a context diagram for the Wellbeing Dojo system as a practical example. The rendered diagram in the center shows novice writer, supervisor/advisor, and academic reviewer interacting with the Wellbeing Dojo AI system, Claude API, and Plant UML server. The 5 explanation points cover L4, granularity for sentence and connective level design quality using conditional gates, yes pass for explicit connection via conjunctions, no pass for inserting intermediate propositions, and alignment with the overall diagram for code consistency. Slide 1508, Paper Output Preview, ResearchGate.net publication version. This is the Paper Output Preview, the ResearchGate.net publication version. The paper title is Writing Without Giving Up, a C4 model thinking blueprint for well-being writing. The abstract reads, in modern higher education, cognitive load and psychological stress associated with academic writing impair learner well-being. This study developed academic paper Dojo, applying the C4 model to structural analysis of academic papers. The 6 chapters cover introduction, rationale for using the C4 model, formulation of well-being writing, empirical research plan, comprehensive discussion, and conclusion. The output score. Summary shows C4, score 32 out of 35, 7 references, Figure 4 and Table 3, and approximately 12,000 characters. The ResearchGate publication flow. Complete the paper with Dojo, export PDF, upload to ResearchGate, obtain DOI, and become citable. Slide 1609. Overall flow, academic paper, Dojo 7-stage process. Here is the complete overall flow, the academic paper Dojo 7-stage process. Under Input, Stage 0 is input, paper information, author RQ, and references. Under Process, Stage 1 is ideation via the Create prompt. Stage 2 is structuring via C4 model 4-layer design. Stage 3 is writing via 7R prompt generation. Under Eval, Stage 4 is Evaluate, C4 score out of 35 points. Under Output, Stage 5 is Presentation, slide structure plan. Stage 6 is Q&A, AI peer review simulation. Stage 7 is Submission, cover letter, and submission correspondence. Key outputs are C4, score 32 out of 35, Plant UMLC 4 figures, paper manuscript final version, and ResearchGate submission. The 3 contributions are theoretical, applying C4 to educational technology, practical, implementing the 7-stage AI tool academic paper Dojo, and conceptual, proposing the concept of well-being writing. Slide 17, 10 concept proposal, well-being writing. This slide presents the concept of well-being writing. The definition reads, a design principle for writing environments in which the writing process itself generates positive emotional experiences for the writer, flow, self-efficacy, and achievement. applying the PERMA model by Seligman 2011 to the writing process. The 5 PERMA elements applied here are P, positive emotion, sense of achievement and joy of resolution in writing. E, engagement, immersion in C4 design and flow state. R, relationship, collaboration with supervisors and the research community. M, meaning significance of the paper's contribution to social issues. A, accomplishment, achievement from improving C4 score and completing the paper. The connection to cognitive load theory by Sweller, 1988. The 4 C4 layers eliminate extraneous cognitive load while preserving intrinsic cognitive load, removing the feeling of being lost without reducing intellectual challenge. The redefinition in this study: conventional view holds that writing anxiety is a personal trait. This study redefines it as a process design problem, resolved through C4 model environmental intervention, not individual ability. Slide 18, 11. Comprehensive discussion, educational technology times, quality engineering. Here is the comprehensive discussion. Educational technology times quality engineering. The 4-axis evaluation from the preliminary study, Wellbeing, WHO. 5. Index showed significant improvement, consistent with robust design principles. The structural isomorphism with quality engineering table maps, purpose, robustification to well-being enhancement. Evaluate SN ratio and CP value to C4 score and WHO 5. Control, design parameters to chapter structure and RQ, noise, environmental variation to cognitive load. The 3 academic contributions are theoretical, opening a new research domain applying C4 to educational technology. Practical, implementing the 7-stage AI-assisted tool Academic Paper Dojo. Conceptual, proposing and formalizing the concept of well-being writing. Slide 19, HAR 12. Implementation schedule, FY 2026. Here is the implementation schedule for fiscal year 2026. April to May 2026. Grant application and university seminar demo. Apply to science promotion foundations and conduct demos via collaboration with the supervisor. June to August 2026. Empirical experiment and data collection. Seminar students, N equals 30, use Academic Paper Dojo with 3-axis measurement, WHO5, GSE, and C4 score. Slide 20 on 13 copyright and contact, C4 model org, GEC, OBOD. This slide covers copyright and contact information for the C4 model org. Author, profile, name, Osamu Okamura. Position, principal, C4 model organization. Previous role 1, Director Planning and Research Division, Dentsu PR Consulting. Previous role 2, Senior Strategy Consultant, Osaka Gas Think Tank KRI. Education, Newport University, PhD, and Advanced Institute of Industrial Technology, Tokyo Metropolitan University, MS Academic Society and Publications, member of the Japan Society of Library and Information Science, with multiple Amazon Kindle publications. For contact and copyright, email info@c4model.org, preprint researchgate.net, academic paper, Thesis Dojo. Books, Amazon Kindle, Writing Without Giving Up, scheduled for March 2027. Slide 21. Summary, 3 values. Realized by Academic Paper Thesis Dojo. In summary, Academic Paper Thesis Dojo delivers 3 powerful values. First, the thinking blueprint. Design the logical structure of your paper with C4 model L1 through L4. Reduce extraneous cognitive load and eliminate the feeling of being lost. See at a glance exactly which level of abstraction you are thinking at. Second, a system that prevents giving up. A well-being state achieved via the PERMA model. Your paper completed step-by-step through the 7-stage process. Quality visualized through AI support and C4 evaluation.